Hello. I'm going to talk about digital IDs again because I believe it's really important to pay close attention to what this government is attempting to do, and in particular to pay extremely close attention to Keir Starmer. To help us glean what these digital IDs are actually there to do, because quite patently they're not there to do what it is said they are there to do, we will look at some snippets from a talk that Keir Starmer was giving yesterday at the so-called Global Progress Action Summit.
People are very disappointed with the pace of change in government. It's so much slower than almost every other facet of their lives. So we do have to speed up. Poor delivery is a threat to mainstream politics.
I'm going to suggest that delivery is a threat, a lack of, he means, by the way, is a threat to his job and potentially his parties. So that's, I believe, one of the drivers here. It's Keir desperate to hang on to power and gain more if he possibly can.
But renewal is a deeper argument. It means demonstrating to working people that, as well as the economy, the state is being run in their interests.
So what he's doing here is something that he accuses Farage and others of doing, being a so-called populist. This is more demagogue territory. He's saying what he thinks people want to hear because he wants to stay in power. Has he any real intention of delivering any of this stuff? Does he care? He hasn't seemed to care so far. So to me, this is a lip service.
And that does mean we've got to look ourselves in the mirror and recognise where we've allowed our parties to shy away from people's concerns.
Yeah, but you see, you shouldn't have to be looking at yourself in the mirror because that shouldn't have happened. How was it that you shied away? If there'd been a strong moral and belief base, then you would have come out of the starting blocks doing the right thing. You have done an awful lot, you and others, of the wrong things because you're not what people had hoped you would be. Anyone who voted for you, and there weren't that many people, their hopes were pinned on something different, most of them. So how could you have shied away if you had an actual ideology, if you had an actual firm core of values? Wouldn't have happened.
And let the politics of purity patronise people.
Politics of purity patronising. Oh, I think he's been, well, that sounds a little bit hateful, Keir.
Now, you will all have issues in your own countries. But in Britain, it's illegal migration.
And bad government.
And I suspect that may be the same in a number of other countries. For too many years, it's been too easy for people to come here, slip into the shadow economy, and remain here illegally. Because, frankly, we've been squeamish.
Oh, did he write that? Did he actually write that? Or did someone else? You've been squeamish. Yeah. You've made a whole country squeamish.
About saying things that are clearly true.
Yes. You've been squeamish. Again, you know, the exact opposite of what people thought you would do, you and your leadership team. Yeah, clearly true. That is true. But squeamish, no, you just ignored it for whatever reason. And that in of itself speaks volumes. What is it you represent? What did you represent? We still don't know. I doubt we ever will know. Well, we do know. I think you represent Keir.
It's not just that it's not compassionate left-wing politics.
Yeah, you really showed yourselves to be compassionate. Where would we start? Freezing pensioners?
To rely on labour that exploits foreign workers and undercuts fair wages. But the simple fact that every nation needs to have control over its borders.
Yeah, welcome to the party. Every village, town, city, country, of course it needs control. Again, how is it that this is well over a year now that you're coming up with this, because people are demanding it. And what's then happening is you're thinking, oh, my position's under threat. Anyway.
We do need to know who is in our country. Our immigration system does need to be fair if we want to maintain that binding contract that our politics is built on. Otherwise, it undermines trust.
Again, you've undermined it yourself. I mean, it isn't there. And, that old phrase, when trust goes, it's difficult to get it back or impossible. I think it's probably impossible. So for you to put that in a speech, it's just, I don't know. Is it a gigantic lack of awareness? Are you farming out these speeches to someone else and just repeating it, parrot fashion? Or do you think that by saying this enough, we'll just believe it? Spoiler, we won't.
Undermines people's faith that we're on their side.
You haven't been.
And their belief that the state can and will work for them.
Yeah, we used to believe that. Not now.
And that is why today I am...
Oh, so hold on. so borders, belief that the state works for them, trust. So to put those things in place, in your case, put them in place because they weren't there. You may think you're strengthening it, but you're putting it in place. So to put those things in place, you're going to do what?
Announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID.
Say again? So you're going to introduce digital ID to help engender more trust. But by the way, free of charge? Come on, Keir. And your writing team. Come on. I've said it before about this government. How stupid do you think people are? This is not free of charge. And if you think, oh yeah, well, but what I meant was it's like you won't have to pay for it, it will magically appear. Yeah, I bet it will magically appear. And it's not a subscription. We're going to pay billions and billions. That's what it could amount to. It's not free of charge. We, all of us will have to pay for that. And again, how is this going to help with security? The very people who have circumvented every system, every process, everything legal, do you think that because the population now magically have got to show their ID everywhere will stop them? How would that work? How could it work?
Mandatory.
Oh yeah, of course it's going to be mandatory.
For the right to work by the end of this Parliament.
We need an awful lot of change before the end of this Parliament.
Let me spell that out.
THATOUT. That's how you spell that out.
You will not be able to work...
We will not be able to work if this leadership team don't get their act together because the economy will be tanked. But hey, let's spend a lot of money on an ID system.
The United Kingdom, if you do not have digital ID.
Yeah. Okay, we have national insurance numbers, we have passports, we have driving licenses, we have letters addressed to addresses. There are ways of doing this stuff. And if this was like let's say a photograph at its most basic of your driving license, if you have a driving license, then people can sort of get their heads around that. But this is not going to be that at all, not remotely. That's not what this is about.
It's as simple as that.
It really isn't as simple as that, Keir. It's like the opposite of what this is.
Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people...
Here we go again, trying it with the language, decent, pragmatic, fair-minded. If that's you, sign up here. If you don't, then you're none of those things. Nah, it doesn't work anymore. really doesn't work, that type of language. Nobody's influenced by it at all. Oh, no, that's untrue. They are influenced by it. They're kind of like repulsed by it.
They want us to tackle the issues that they see around them.
Yeah.
And of course, the truth is, we won't solve our problems if we don't also take on the root causes, looking upstream.
We are looking upstream. We can see the root causes. Glad you mentioned that.
To tackle poverty, conflict, climate change, issues that aren't just intolerable for those of us who care about inequality and injustice wherever it's found in the world.
Yeah, and we have there the hint of course, the other main thread in terms of motivation. It's the other parts of the world. Was telling us, oh, this will keep your borders safe, everything will be fine with these digital IDs. He's playing to the globalist agenda, which of course is heading towards, if it possibly can, one government, one control system, one bank, everything tracked, everything traced. A nod probably to the Chinese social credit system. This is what it is likely in due course a digital ID will be loaded with. It will be your credit score, your carbon credit score, for example. Obviously financial, everything up to date, facial recognition, tracking you everywhere, as it often does, voice recognition, how you have been socially, what did you post that was deemed to be a problem for the government. Oh, right, okay, well that goes against you as well. And so ultimately, what this could mean, this so-called digital ID, a black box pulling in everything in real time and scoring it via algorithms, what this could mean is that you can't jump into your little Tesla Skillectrix car and start it. Because it's not allowed. It's a computer, of course, isn't it? Or you can't drive there. And this door won't open. You can't buy that particular thing. You can't travel to that particular location. This used to be sci-fi. It used to sound like a conspiracy theory. And I hope it is, but it seems a heck of a lot less like one right now, doesn't it?